Hello and welcome to the VickyCharles.com podcast for those of us who need just a little help with our blogging and social media. The show notes for this and all previous podcasts can be found at VickyCharles.com/podcast. And at the moment I'm giving out free social media tips. Just go to VickyCharles.com/social-tips and fill in your details, and then I'll email you 3 personalised action points for your social media. You can also sign up there for my mailing list. This week's episode, number 57, is 5 tips for using Facebook Live video. So let's get on with it. So welcome to episode number 57 of the VickyCharles.com podcast. This week's podcast is 5 tips for using Facebook Live video. Now, I've been banging on about live video and video in general for ages. I've done a few podcasts about why we should all be posting more video, and I do find that when I post video of any sort on my Facebook page, I get more involvement, I get more likes, I get more reach, I get more shares, I get more comments. So I was really excited for Facebook Live to come, and it seemed to take ages to get here, and so many other people seemed to have it, and I was getting really like, oh, you know, when are they going to roll it out? And then a couple of weeks ago, they did roll it out to everybody. Anybody who's got the Pages app or the Facebook app on their phone, it is limited to your phone at the moment. Anybody who's got that, they can start broadcasting either from their personal page, from a group, if the admin allows it, from a Facebook event page, which is amazing, or from their business page. And that's really good. So although, you know, it's going to become a saturated market, it's going to become very noisy very quickly when everybody realizes they can do this. So here are my 5 tips to help you to make sure that you're putting out good content that people are going to want to watch, basically, and that you're going to get the most out of Facebook Live video. So the first tip is to get going quickly. Now, I don't know about you, when I watch Periscope, I go in, you kind of go into a broadcast, and the first 5 minutes is kind of someone sitting there going, hi guys, oh hi Jenny, how are you, oh thanks so much for coming, oh thanks, oh hi Jim, how was you, oh la 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 la, and it's just like, yawn, I really can't be doing it. Don't ever do that on Facebook. Think about how quickly you scroll past anything on Facebook. If I'm kind of scrolling down my newsfeed and I see something and a video, and it's they've got maybe 5 seconds to get my attention, and then I'm off. So get going quickly. Kind of start with telling people, you know, what you're going to show them or what you're going to tell them or why you're doing this live video. Tell them who you are, tell them what you do, why they should listen to you. So I would say something like, hi, my name is Vicky Charles. I am a blogger and social media expert. I train people on how to use blogging and social media to their advantage, and today I'm going to teach you about blah blah blah, and go from there. Just get it out really quick. You don't need to talk really quickly, which I've got a feeling I'm doing now. You don't need to talk really quickly, but you kind of just don't hang around going, oh, so-and-so's just commented, oh, I've only got 50 people watching me, oh, maybe I'll wait for a few more people to come in. Don't do any of that, because nobody on Facebook is very different. On Periscope, we're all kind of used to that. And they did actually introduce scrubbing, so that you can scrub forward and get past all of that rubbish. So kind of just bear that in mind, that people have got a really short attention span, and you really have to kind of grab them and go, look what I'm going to show you. You really want to see this. The second tip for using Facebook Live video is to plan what you're going to say, but not too much. So don't write yourself a script, because when you're on screen, when you're on live video, there's nowhere that you can put your script that you'll be able to read it, that either the camera won't pick it up, or at the very least, the people watching your video can see you kind of with your head bent down reading from a script. It looks really bad. But make some key points. So whenever I record my podcast, I write my title at the top so I can keep referring back to it, and then I'll just write my bullet points and crack on. That's not because, you know, I could read from a script, but you can hear if I'm reading from a script, and it sounds like I am just reading the words off the page like that. You know, there's a difference. You can hear the difference. It doesn't sound quite so authentic. It doesn't sound quite so real. So, you know, just bear that in mind. Although you need to really plan what you're going to say so that you know what you're going to say, and you're not going to go, hang on, how many tips have I already... Oh, I was going to do 3 and I've done 1, so hang on, what was the second? Don't do any of that. Have your 5 or 10 or whatever key points you're going to give, know what they are, write them down, stick them on a piece of paper, on a post-it note behind the camera so that you can see it out the corner of your eye, and then crack on. Don't write yourself a big script, because you're not going to need it realistically. If you're that confident about what you're talking about, that you're going to do a live video on it, then I would hope that you don't need a script. And it's just, you know, it doesn't look or sound very good if you're reading from a script. So my third tip for using Facebook Live is to choose a good title. Your title is what's going to draw people in, so make sure that it tells people what to expect. So if I was doing a live video for this, I would call it 5 tips for using Facebook Live, or why you should be using Facebook Live, how you can get the most out of Facebook Live. You know, something that's really, it's the same as with blog posts, really. If you want somebody to click into your blog post, you need to give it a title that somebody is going to go, oh yeah, no, I need to know about that, and click into it, rather than some kind of arty-farty ponderings on the thinking of blah, blah. Nobody's going to click into that unless they're your friend or your mum, are they? So bear that in mind with your videos as well. My 4th tip for using Facebook Live is to remember that it's a dialogue, not a monologue. So I'm doing this podcast and I'm talking to you, and you don't really have a way to reply to me, so I can just crack on. But when I'm doing Periscope or live video, there's always the chance that somebody can comment and reply to you, and you want them to, because that's the point of live video. That's why live video is better than pre-recorded video, because somebody can go, hang on, wait, no, I didn't understand what you said there, can you explain that again? Or no, I don't think that's right, I think this, or can you make that product for me in green with a yellow logo? And these are, and don't ever ignore the comments. Always go, unless you're kind of right, some people who are really massive on Periscope, they get thousands of comments, and it's always people going, yay, I can comment today. You don't need to reply to that. But if you're getting people asking you questions, always reply to it, but reply to it in such a way that you're kind of keeping the flow going. That's something that you'll learn with practice. I haven't quite managed it yet, but you just keep going with it, and just always remember that it's not just you talking out to people, because otherwise you may as well have done a pre-recorded video. Remember that it is a dialogue, and that you do need to interact with the people who are commenting. My 5th tip for using Facebook Live is to go back and edit the video afterwards. When you do your live video, it takes up half of your phone screen, and you record it, and you give it your title and everything, and then it goes 3, 2, 1 live, and you've got your comments underneath, and you record your video, and blah blah blah. And at the end of it, when you finish broadcasting, you stop, and at that point it says, we're going to save this to your timeline, and you can either delete it so that it's not on your timeline, or you can say okay. Then you can go back into that video like any other video you would on Facebook, and you can edit it. You can add a different thumbnail, you can give it categories and tags and a little write-up, you can add a call to action button, and really give it a second life. Maybe pin it to the top of your page for the rest of the day or something. Really make the most out of it, so that people who are coming along 10 minutes later and didn't see the live video, make it look to them like, oh, I missed something, I really need to see what was on that video. Do that so that people are interested are going to be interested in watching it again, or so that they'll click the call to action button and sign up to your website or buy your product or whatever it is you want them to do. Make it easy for them to do that. And Facebook have made it easy for you to give your video a second life, so make the most out of it. So those are my 5 top tips for using Facebook Live. I do hope you found it interesting and useful. If you have already started using Facebook Live video, do give me a shout and let me know where I can find your videos, because I really am loving live video at the moment, and I would love to come and watch yours and be a bit nosy. Thank you so much for listening to the VickyCharles.com podcast. The show notes for this and all previous podcasts can be found at VickyCharles.com/podcast. And don't forget that at the moment I'm giving out free social media tips. So if you go to VickyCharles.com/social-tips and fill in your details, I will email you 3 personalised action points for your social media. You can also tick the box on that form and join my mailing list, where you will be sent a free download of social media tips. And you'll be on my mailing list, so you'll get loads of cool stuff sent to you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back next week.